Welcome into the locker room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I am your host, Namath Pitts. We want to welcome you in and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Now, I know Thanksgiving is tomorrow, but we have officially reached the eve of Thanksgiving. And today we are picking back up on our wrestling action as we continue to preview all of the wrestling teams right here in East Alabama. Today we are talking with the largest team in terms of classification. That is the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Coach Rusty Mayfield of the Oxford Yellow Jackets is entering his fourth season as the leader of this team. Now, don't forget, before we go any further, to like and follow our East Alabama Now page. The locker room is here each and every day at 5 p.m. with all local news. Now, we will be taking tomorrow off for Thanksgiving. We will be taking Friday off, so we will be back Monday with more. But we have got a great show today. And again, we're talking Oxford Yellow Jacket wrestling with Coach Rusty Mayfield, who, by the way, is in his fourth year at Oxford, like I just said, has done an incredible job, had a great run at Cleburne County where they won a lot of hardware. And so we're going to talk about this Oxford Yellow Jackets team. This is a team that has lost two really good wrestlers that made the state tournament last year, and Garrett Howell. Garrett Howell was obviously one of those guys. Also Xavier Duramis. I may have said his name wrong, but those two are gone for the Yellow Jackets. But obviously, Oxford returns two other state qualifiers from a year before. Carlise Hubbard, who is going to be an exceptional wrestler for the Yellow Jackets, and Caleb Tenner. Now, these are two guys that have experience making it to the state tournament. But Coach Mayfield will tell you they had over 8 guys that were right there a match away from making the state tournament a year ago, but came up just short. So Oxford obviously is looking to have a great year this year. They certified over 30-plus wrestlers, and they made history this past Saturday when they hosted their first ever 2 tournaments in one. They hosted a JV and girls tournament at the same time. For the Oxford Yellow Jackets girls, it was a good outing in their own tournament. The JV team did good as well. And for Oxford, they're looking to really build off of kind of the end of last year, getting over the hump, needless to say, when it comes to blood round. For Oxford, again, when you have a team that had 8 or 9 guys that lose in blood round, it's getting them to take that experience of being right there and using it to motivate them in the off season to be better and do better to try to get over the hump this year. We're going to talk with Coach Rusty Mayfield. We're going to talk about this program. We're going to talk about things up to this point in the season. We're going to talk with 2 Oxford Yellow Jacket senior wrestlers about kind of their goals this season, kind of what we can expect of the Oxford Yellow Jackets team, and a whole lot more. But before we talk more about Oxford, I want to remind you, it's not just East Alabama Now's page that you need to check out, but you need to check out EAN News. Now, EAN News is a local newscast that we do every single night right here, and it is got pretty good local content, stuff that you're not really going to get on the show. We do things a little bit different. We try to keep our content a little bit different. Now, Mike Stedham and Katie Edwards bring you your local news. John Holder has your local weather. And then again, I bring you our local sports. But again, I just wanted to tell you guys, if you have not already checked that out, check it out. But again, we talked about Oxford hosting a tournament this weekend. And they obviously had some guys that did well in their under 100 weight class. Sam Maniscalco ended up finishing second place. You keep looking down at their placers in the 126-pound weight class. Ethan Horn finished second place. Again, you keep going. Oxford did really had some really good guys. Josiah Edwards finished second place at 157. Obviously, a change of weight classes this year, but that didn't stop really this team from getting a couple different placers. Kelazaris Harrison finished second place at 285. And the girls, they actually had the first ever champion in the girls, Oxford did. And Coach Mayfield was telling me that I should interview him. But they did have Blessin Bell, who got second place. Or I guess she was the first placer for the females. But Blessin Bell got second place for Oxford girls in their girls tournament this past weekend. So we're talking Oxford Yellow Jacket wrestling. I kind of look at the schedule for this team this season, and one thing we're going to talk about with Coach Mayfield is the balance of getting good local competition, because we have as strong of a wrestling as you can get right here in Calhoun County, but you also got to get that balance of facing 6A competition. They start, actually, matter of fact, in a couple days against Ben Russell, and that's going to be at Ben Russell. But I'm looking at the schedule. I see McAdory and Hueytown. They've got Brookwood, Shades Valley, Pinson Valley. They've got Wetumpka Varsity Invitational Tournament. They've got Pell City with regional duels. They've got Mountain Brook and Moody in Cleveland County at home. They're going to the Moody Harris Invitational. They've got Alexandria, which is a good local 5A team, sectionals and states. So definitely got some fair share of tough competition for the Oxford Yellow Jackets this season. So, but they certified over 30. You've got some talent coming back. We're going to talk with Coach Rusty Mayfield when we come back. Don't go away. You're watching The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends, while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
Welcome to Room by Room Home Furnishings, a locally owned and operated furniture store located in Oxford, Alabama. We've been serving Northeast Alabama and the surrounding area since 2007. We offer stylish and affordable new arrivals and all the top trends to help you get a cozy and homey atmosphere with hand-picked home furnishings and decor to fit anybody's style and budget with knowledge, personality, and good vibes. Let Room by Room in Oxford, Alabama help you score amazing deals and turn your house into a home.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you The Locker Room each and every day. Ted's Floors and Beyond has all your flooring needs, whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, or luxury vinyl. They have it for you right there at Ted's. You can go by their showroom there in Anniston and you can pick out what you like, want, and need, and they can do that there at Ted's. Also, they've got their partnership with Welborn Cabinet. It will offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. That includes cabinets, countertops, flooring, backsplashes, tile showers. They can get it done there at Ted's Floors and Beyond. And now they offer you work on your outdoor space, whether it's an outdoor kitchen, patio, or living space. They have specially made outdoor tiles and stones that can enhance your outdoor experience. So go by and see them today at their showroom in Anniston on Highway 431, right before you get to Sachs Elementary School, or visit them online at shopteds.com. That is shopteds.com. Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you The Locker Room. Welcome back into The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I told you we were talking Oxford Yellow Jacket Wrestling. We are here with the head coach of the Oxford Yellow Jackets, Rusty Mayfield. Coach, the season is finally upon us.
It is, and it got here quick.
Coach, let's start. You've been here, this is year 4. Obviously, Cleveland County, you were there for a long time. You end up coming to Oxford, taking the head coaching job. I'm sure you've answered this question many, many times, but what was it about Oxford that made you decide to take that leap of faith and come here?
It was just time for a change, and what better place to come than right over the mountain to Oxford.
All right, Coach, let's talk about the off-season. Obviously, did you guys get to do any off-season wrestling, any summer wrestling? Just talk about what you guys have done since the end of last season.
We did. We trained with Arturo Holmes for a good 2 days, and we provided that camp for our kids and pretty much everybody around as one of the cheapest camps in the state, just trying to get as many people involved as possible. And then from there we did a lot of summer workouts that were 4 days a week, and we had several kids that went on and competed in the Nationals, Deep South Nationals after that. So we were fairly busy over the summer, nothing too crazy though.
Yeah. Coach, one of the biggest things about this level of competition is losing very talented guys, and you've certainly lost some talented guys over the past couple of years, but just talk about some of the guys you lost to graduation from last year.
We lost Garrett Howell, who was a very talented individual, and Xavier Doremus. Both of those guys are going to be sorely missed. And you know, we've kind of became accustomed to that being here. Every year we lose, you know, talented individuals, and you would hope that you rebuild those, but at times it's really tough to rebuild those caliber type of people. So you just do the best you can and try to rebuild and reload, you know, year after year.
Coach, you got a lot of wrestlers that are first-year guys. You got a lot of young people. Obviously, your football team's going to be back after this week, the players from football. Just talk about some of the guys you got coming back this year. Talk about some guys that people need to keep an eye on. They're really going to be difference makers for you guys this season.
We've got Caleb Tenner. Caleb Tenner was a placer for last year. We have Carlise Hubbard, who was another state qualifier from last year. Both of those guys are poised to make some more noise again this year. We got Tristan Williams, Cade Sprung. Those two guys are going to be seniors this year. We've got several guys that can really, you know, make some noise going into the season.
Coach, you guys had a big tournament this past weekend. Now, varsity has not started yet, but you had a big JV tournament, big girls tournament, great turnout. Obviously, one of the hardest things as a coach is building your schedule throughout the year. But just talk about this tournament that you guys put on, the Sting, JV, and girls. Talk about just what goes into building a schedule each year.
It's not easy, especially being here. It's definitely not easy because you try to balance it between, and this year was even tougher because we had girls, and so you try to balance between middle school, your JV, and your varsity schedule along with your girls, and you try to get all those guys matches so that you're not throwing those JV guys, those middle school guys into varsity tournaments, and you try to get them all kind of equal mat time. But other than that, you know, it's definitely not an easy task because, you know, right here or at Oxford, I'm the only bus driver, so to speak. So when we go somewhere, pretty much we got to go wherever I take everybody. So, yeah.
Coach, obviously you guys do wrestle some local teams because there's some talented local teams, obviously. Probably one of the strongest counties in the state when it comes to wrestling. But you also got to find a balance in also wrestling guys that you're going to see at sectionals for seeding points. Talk about just trying to find that balance. Obviously, being a 6A program, you don't want to be on the road so far every single night, but the balance is still making sure you're wrestling those type of teams, but also getting a really good mix of local talent.
Where we're at location-wise is kind of a blessing and a curse because Oxford is a 6A program and it's like its own little island over here in the middle of Calhoun County. And so, you know, we're right here in the middle of Georgia and we're right here in the middle of between Birmingham as well. So we try to, you know, mix our schedule up with those local teams for our, you know, regular weekday type matches, and then, you know, over the weekend we do travel a lot into Birmingham and into Georgia to try to get those weekend tournaments.
Coach, you obviously are at a historically good program. Oxford's won state championships, had a run there, you know, I think when Muncher was in school, one of your assistants. So this is a team that's had success, and when people look at wrestling in the state of Alabama, Oxford's certainly a school they start to look at when they're looking at brackets. You know, who do they got? What do they look like? Just talk about what it means to you to be able to be the coach at this program.
This place has kind of always been a career goal for me. When I first started coaching, you know, everybody wants to coach at their home. That's kind of first and foremost. But even when I was at my home, this is kind of one of those places I always had my eye on. And, you know, just from the outside looking in, it's always got the most beautiful facilities. And there's something about it there's this prestige kind of deal that as a coach you always look and you're kind of curious about. So and you know, that was one of the things that I kind of was into when I decided to come interview. And of course I didn't come and interview for anything because when I interviewed during COVID, so it was kind of a Skype interview, so to speak. And we won't even talk about being a wrestling coach during COVID because that was another level. So but anyway, that's it means the world to me to be the coach here. And, I tell my guys every day, we're all blessed to have the things that we have. And, we don't take anything for granted because we realize that, not many people have what we do. And, we work hard every single day, and there's not a minute that goes by that we don't drop sweat all over this stuff that we do have. So wrestling is always going to be wrestling, and the way you get good is always going to be the way you get good, and that's through hard work.
Yeah. Coach, you guys, the Oxford High School got one of the biggest facilities, got a whole new, facility this year, over millions of dollars. And with that came a new wrestling room. You guys are able to fit 2 full mats in here. It's a beautiful place. I walked in, guys, let me tell you this, the heat was running. I was thinking, I didn't expect that. I didn't think this place could get this warm. But Coach, just talk about the new facilities you guys got this year, new locker rooms. Obviously, I know that was a blessing.
Oh, yeah, it's a blessing. Anytime you can get, a new wrestling room, for a wrestling coach, that's a big deal. And I love it, not for myself, but for my kids, because they are very deserving over it. And it's cool for them, but, I love it for even the past teams, that they worked so hard to get to this point, and for them to be able to have what this team had, look, I'd love for them to come back and see it. And, my door's always open if they want to come by and see the locker room, see the new wrestling room and the indoor and everything else. They're more than welcome to.
Speaking of coming back, Coach, you've got an assistant coach. Obviously, a head coach, his team's as good as his head coach. But sometimes the assistant coaches, it can be really underrated, the amount of help they bring to a program. You've got a guy that wrestled at Oxford and Muncher, who's back, obviously. Talk about what it's like to have somebody that wants to come back to the school he wrestled for and just help out, and talk about, just what he has been able to help you do, in terms of coaching.
And he is a big help. And having him around is a huge deal. He helps out tremendously with our recruiting, and he helps me out tremendously with the ins and outs of just putting in weights in track wrestling and helping out with practice on a day-to-day basis in organization. There's nothing really, no aspect of it that he doesn't really have a hand in. So yeah, he's a huge help to me, and like you said, he could be a head coach pretty much anywhere else he goes, and I'm just glad that he's with me right now. All
right, Coach, last question. This is a non-wrestling question. One of your biggest passions that I've seen on Facebook is fishing. You're also the fishing coach, all right? Coach, just talk about that passion for fishing, man.
Well, I've been fishing since I was a kid, and, my dad was in the military, and so being a military brat, that was one thing I was able to do coast to coast. And, I've just grown up fishing, and one of my passions is bass fishing, and, I am the fishing coach here at Oxford as well. I'm also the middle school football coach, too, so I stay fairly busy. And so, I just love it, man. It's one of those things where, if I can go out by myself, I can kind of clear my mind, and it's one of those things where my daughter loves to go to, and so it's, quality time we can spend together. My son loves to wrestle, so he just kind of loves to get out here and roll around with me, and he's the most vicious little 3-year-old you'll ever see. So hopefully one of these days he can be out here with me and, be rolling around.
I said that was the last question, but I asked you, what's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Bass?
Yeah.
Okay, 12-8.
Not bad. What do you think's harder, fishing or wrestling?
It depends on the day. If I'm watching some of these guys, as far as my nerves go, some of these guys are harder than fishing. Catching a fish is easy, but some of these guys, watching them put a half or just some basic moves in times is way tougher than fishing.
All right, the Oxford Yellow Jackets, Coach Rusty Mayfield. Good luck to the Oxford Yellow Jackets this season. Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk with 2 of Oxford's senior wrestlers. You're watching The Locker Room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Ted's Floors and Beyond is excited to introduce our all-new outdoor living collection. Have you ever dreamed of elevating or even creating an outdoor living space, whether it be for grilling, lounging, playing, entertaining, or just winding down? Our quality tile and stone, combined with our expert craftsmanship, will no doubt create unforgettable outdoor moments with family and friends. while also enhancing the beauty and value of your home. Call us today.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today. For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Welcome back into the locker room, presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond. I'm your host, Namath Pitts, and we are continuing our preview of East Alabama Wrestling, and we have made our way to the biggest school in terms of classification. That is the Oxford Yellow Jackets, and we are here with 2 of the Oxford Yellow Jacket wrestlers, 2 seniors, and I'm going to go ahead and give them an opportunity to introduce ourselves. So guys, why don't you go ahead and say your name, what grade you are, and we'll go from there.
My name is Tristan Williams. I'm a senior leader for the Oxford Yellow Jackets. I've been wrestling about 4 years.
All right, we got Tristan. He's a 4-year wrestler for the Yellow Jackets.
My name is Cade Sprung. I've been wrestling for Oxford for about 5 years, and I've really enjoyed my time here.
All right, we got Cade, who's a senior right here. My guy Tristan, the senior. You two guys were chosen by Coach to do the interview, so why don't we just talk about what it means to you to be chosen by Coach. Obviously, he thinks you guys are leaders of this team because he chose you, so just go ahead and talk about what that means to you.
I mean, like, Coach has been there. Coach has been there for me since he came to Oxford, which was my freshman year, and he knows I put my work in. I don't like to skip reps. Like, he knows I set an example.
All right, absolutely. Cade, what about you?
It means a lot to me too, because I really like what Coach Mayfield has done here, because I was here before he was coach, and I really like the changes that we've done here, and I feel like the program is taking steps to a better direction than where it was when I started.
All right, absolutely. All right, guys, let's talk about the offseason. Did you guys do any off-season wrestling? Did you guys do any summer wrestling? What did you guys do to improve over since the end of last season?
Well, Coach gave us the opportunity by bringing one of the best wrestling coaches in the nation to Oxford High School, Arturo Holmes.
There you go.
Arturo Holmes. He, they say he's one of the best wrestling coaches in the nation. He was here for 2 days. We was there 8 to 4. And it was really cheap. The school paid for like 90% of it. We also went to national tournament. We didn't do too good, but we got there. We was there. We can say we was there.
All right, what about you, Cade?
I did what Tristan did with the Arturo camp and going to nationals, but I also went to a couple other camps over the off season to try and get better at what I was already good at and learn some new things. And I was really working out from home a lot, trying to be faster, be better, and just overall improve what I'm good at and try and make a step towards placing at state this year.
All right, guys, let's talk about you as individual wrestlers. Now, obviously, I don't want you to kind of say what your favorite move is or anything, because we obviously don't want anybody to know, before the season starts. But just talk about when people see Oxford wrestle this season, when people see Cade wrestle, when people see Tristan wrestle, what do you think they're going to remember most about you guys?
Physicality. I like to be physical.
All right, we got my guy who wants to be physical. What about you, Cade?
Aggressiveness, and I want to try and put on a show.
All right, it sounds like the message for Oxford Yellow Jackets this year when it comes to wrestling is being aggressive. And being aggressive sounds like both of you guys said. Let's talk about Coach Mayfield. Just talk about what it is about Coach Mayfield. How is he at practice? Is he an intense guy? Is he loud? Is he more of a kick, laid-back kind of guy? What is Coach like at practice?
If you do what you're told, he's pretty chill. But if he has to repeat himself a good couple of times, he's gonna start getting loud and getting frustrated.
All right, how do you think Coach is at practice?
He has got high expectations of us, and he expects all of us to be the best we can be. And I think that's made me better in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a person on the team that you think Coach is harder on at practice than anybody else? I want y'all to think on that for a second. Who's somebody that you just think Coach is always up in their grill, like he's just always on them? Is there anybody that you can think of that comes to your mind?
Calazarus. I think he has high expectations for Calazarus.
All right, Calazarus, what about you? Who do you think?
Jelly Bean.
Who's Jelly Bean? Say a name for us.
Brandon Phillips.
All right, Brandon Phillips. Jelly Bean is somebody he's hard on. All right, guys, is there any tournament that you guys are just really looking forward to this season, outside of state and sectionals, of course? Is there just a tournament that comes to your mind that you're really looking forward to wrestling in?
County tournament. I got second last year. I lost by 3 points, but I think this is my year. I think I got it.
All right, county tournament. What about you?
I have 2. County, I really want to wrestle there. I didn't wrestle there last year. I was injured. And I want to wrestle at Lincoln again because I got 3rd last time I went there, and I want to get 1st this time.
All right, absolutely. What's it like for you guys to be in a 6A program? Obviously, your competition when it comes to sectionals is a lot different than everybody else in the area. So obviously, you guys are facing larger programs, which you are one yourself. But just talk about the competition that you face at the 6A level.
Well, yeah, like you said, competition is a little bit harder. Like me wrestling a Pell City kid, I'm gonna struggle a little bit more than wrestling like a kid from White Plains or down in those 2A or 3A schools.
Throwing a little shots at the small schools, man. I didn't want you to go that deep. I just wanted you to talk about the competition. All right.
I actually enjoy being in 6A because I always like competing, and I love going against somebody who's good because I know in the end that's going to make me better, win or lose. And I just want to prove to myself that I could beat the best of the best.
Absolutely. Now, Tristan, when county rolls around, you just said you was looking forward to county. Now you're going to have all these small schools. They're going to have your name circled on their bracket ready to wrestle you, all right? All right, guys, let's talk about just the season up to this point, just the way you guys have been practicing. Talk about practice, just kind of how you feel like you guys have improved since you guys got back on the mat.
I feel like I still got ways to go to get where I want, but I'm on that path. I feel like I'm achieving my goals, on the way to achieving my goals.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Cade?
I feel like I've got a better understanding of creating an angle and really just improving at all facets of where I need to be good at. So that's really how I feel like practice has helped me.
Yeah. What is it that got you guys into wrestling?
My 8th grade year, I was playing football, and at the time, Coach McCall was an assistant for the wrestling team, but I played DB and he was the DB coach. He was like, he liked my explosiveness, and he asked me to come out and try for wrestling. I've just been doing it ever since.
All right, what about you, Cade?
I was playing football too, and in 7th grade, my mom, she told me that our head coach at the time, Coach Roughton, for the middle school football team, was the head coach of the Oxford wrestling team, and she told me that I'd get better at football and, I should probably try and join it. And I ended up liking this more, so I stuck with it.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your favorite part about wrestling?
The support. When I'm out on the mat and I hear everybody cheering for me, that just warms my heart.
All right. Okay, he gonna get me emotional over here. Let's go over here, Kay. What's your favorite part about wrestling?
Competition and the individuality. I like how it's a team sport, but also if you lose, it's on you. So I like being held accountable for myself, and I also like competing with a lot of people. So that's really my thing. Yeah,
absolutely. Guys, talk about just the difficulty of wrestling compared to other sports. Obviously you got the weight cut, trying to make weight, managing your weight. Obviously just the intensity of being in practice every day. But for the ones that don't wrestle, and think, oh, wrestling's easy, and they've never done it, talk about what it is about wrestling that just makes it different than any other sport.
Well, wrestling is about, I would say for me, it's about 90% mental. If I tell myself I'm so tired, I'm not gonna be able to finish then. I'm just quit, and my body's just gonna break down. It's physical, but it's really a lot more mental than it is physical.
All right, what about you, Cade?
Really just learning how to control and move your body. I feel like that takes time and you have to adjust, because when I started I couldn't do half the things I can do now. So over time it's just learning how to control your movement, and you're not just running, you're rolling around with people. And I feel like that's something that takes time to master.
Yeah. All right, last question, guys. It's your senior year. Obviously, you both want to win a state championship. Obviously, there's no surprise there. But just talk about your biggest goal this year being your last year.
No more than 5 losses. I could have had about 10 losses last year, but it goes back to what you were saying about weight. I wasn't managing my weight right, so I didn't have the strength, and I wasn't fueling my body how I needed to be.
All right, what about you? Biggest goal this year outside of a state championship?
Win MVP at least 2 tournaments. I feel like I have the capability to do it. I just need to implement what I know.
All right, the Oxford Yellow Jackets. We got my guy Tristan, my guy Cade. As always, that's going to do it for the locker room. You've been watching Oxford Wrestling today. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back Monday. So make sure to come back Monday. We'll be right back here at 5 p.m. on the locker room. As always, I'm Namath Pitts. Have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend, and thank you for watching the locker room presented by Ted's Floors and Beyond.